Hi class, congratulations, we are moving into week 8. I hope everyone enjoyed last week's readings and the topic about responsibility of libraries to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's a topic that is incredibly important in libraries as we are the pinnacles of inclusivity, opening our spaces to everyone. As we have discussed in the previous weeks, open accessibility is what keeps libraries relevant. Furthermore, diverse staffing ensures that libraries are a reflection of the communities they serve. Also, just as a note, I will be caught up on all my grading this week and be sure to include comments on your midterm papers. Please feel free to reach out should you have any questions relating to the final paper. I'm happy to assist in any way that I can. As I read your papers and looked at the notes of my predecessor, what I've noticed is that as we are coming out of the pandemic, many libraries are focusing more on building their digital resources. A poignant question that I think should be considered is how libraries are addressing the digital divide. For some time, many people thought that the digital divide had been bridged or mitigated. And for the most part, however, post-pandemic, we are learning that this is not really the case. There are some real concerns about how far behind students have become as a result of virtual learning, with literacy rates being directly impacted. And, this is a correlation to students not really having access to digital resources that they needed, and realizing that people don't have Wi-Fi and internet in their homes as we originally thought. Please let me know if you're hitting any roadblocks in terms of your final observation paper. I know that some libraries are more willing to provide access to staff in their spaces than others for a variety of reasons. My main goal for this project is that you can be provided with real-time experiences that will potentially prepare you for what you will be walking into as you enter the profession, while keeping in mind that there are no absolutes in library services. Each branch and system will be different and provide you with unique experiences. The key is to be adaptable and open-minded. So on to this week's topics and resources. Week 8, selection policies, and specifically reconsideration policies. These help create official library procedures around dealing with book materials and book challenges. You may not be aware, but there is a nationwide epidemic of book challenges happening right now as we speak. Professor Bintrim noted that she had a chance to speak with Kristen Peekall, and I want to include the statistics because this is extremely important. Kristen Peekall is the Assistant Director of ALA's Office of Intellectual Freedom, and she found out some specific and very interesting figures. So in September 2021 alone, there were 3 times the amount of book challenges to school and public libraries than in all of 2020. There were something like 156 total in 2020, and there were 330 something in September to November of 2021 alone. Mostly the books being targeted were those that were dealing with LGBTQ plus topics, and there were a lot of challenges around books relating to Black history, American Indigenous history, really any kind of materials addressing racism and BIPOC communities specifically. We can all agree that public librarians have a responsibility to defend intellectual freedom. That's the right for people to access information, ideas, and knowledge freely. So we all have a stake in protecting books that others seek to censor. It's definitely a hot topic right now. So we're going to read some more of the history of censorship within both school and public libraries, and also about the importance of policies in defending your public library collections. As a public librarian, from time to time, you will definitely encounter someone who doesn't agree with a collection choice that you've made. And it doesn't always have to be a challenge or ban. Sometimes you'll get someone who really wants you to order a highly technical periodical, something where there is no demonstrated public interest in the community. And I can say for us at Queens Public Library, a lot of times people requested textbooks, and there's specific reasons why libraries do not purchase or generally do not purchase textbooks. Number one, they change quite fluidly. Number two, they're extremely, extremely expensive. And number three, if you have a lot of local universities in your surrounding area, it's unnecessary. I think at Enoch Pratt, it is a little bit different. We will order certain textbooks because we are the State Library Resource Center. So we do take careful considerations, and we will expend a little bit extra funds to buy textbooks. And also, just because of where we're located, you might not have a lot of colleges or universities nearby. But people definitely ask because textbooks are expensive. And while community feedback is important, sometimes what they're asking for is just not reasonable, and it's not within the scope of what the public library can offer. A collection selection policy really helps with defining and setting boundaries around the scope of your collections. And it can also help you to be able to point to a specific black and white document that says this is how we make decisions and what goes on our shelves. So we're going to do this exercise in the discussion forum where you will look at ALA's recommended reconsideration policy and then compare it against a real reconsideration policy from a real library. And you can be brief. You can maybe just point out the things that match up, because I don't want you guys taking too much time on this. Again, this is just a discussion post. The second prompt is optional because I know that there are a considerable amount of you who are not working in public libraries and may not have the direct experiences with book bans. Fortunately, from my experience with bans, it's been pretty limited because of the communities that I've worked in. Right now in Maryland, most of the book challenges are occurring in the surrounding counties. Furthermore, they're mostly occurring in school libraries and not so much in the public libraries, but we are expecting a trickle-down effect. However, at Enoch Pratt, we thought it would be best to stay ahead of the game. So we've started a committee of staff that will update our current collection policy because it is a little bit outdated. And our policy lives directly on our website and is readily available for the public to view. Also, as someone who regularly works in spaces with children and teens, I always advise concerned parents to check with their children what their children are reading. I let them know gently and politely that as a librarian, we build our collections to be well-rounded and serve everyone. Quote-unquote offensive material is subjective, and what you feel is inappropriate for your child may not be inappropriate to another parent. And I just let them know that my goal is to have something in the collection for everyone. So happy reading, and I look forward to reading the discussion comments. Have a wonderful week, everyone.